everybody, it's Maddie here with Maddie's Morphs, and today I have kind of a sad video. This morning I woke up and I went around and I checked all the pets in our room, as I normally do, and I checked our tarantulas on the tarantula shelf, and I noticed that my mature male Lividus, or also known as my cobalt blue tarantula, did pass away. He was in a death curl in his enclosure, and it sucks. It's something that happens when you have as many animals as we do here, whether, even if you're a one animal household, it happens, death happens. And it's something that's inevitable. It's something that's going to come, whether your pet is 1 or 15 years old. So I hate to say that, but it happens. I did cry about it, but I knew it was coming. As you know, male tarantulas don't live as long as the females do, and he just had his last molt recently. I've been counting them and keeping tracks, and I knew we were kind of getting towards the end, but I wasn't as prepared to find him passed away this soon as I did. So today I just kind of want to talk about what to do if you lose a tarantula, how to cope with losing a tarantula, or even if it's not a tarantula, how to kind of cope with losing any pet in general, and kind of what to do with the body. I know losing a tarantula is a little bit easier. It's not like a dog or a cat. You could preserve the body in certain ways that you can't for a dog or a cat. So I kind of want to talk about that and talk about what I'm going to be doing with him. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So as we all know, losing a pet is not easy, whether it's a dog, a cat, a fish, a reptile, or a tarantula in my case. It all sucks. All of it sucks. But it's something we have to get through when we know that we're bringing a pet home. I've always been kind of sensitive to this topic, as I feel like a lot of the animals I do have, I'll get older animals and I feel they come to me to pass away just because they know that they're going to be so loved. And unfortunately, it is a beautiful part of life. It's transition, and all of our pets and all of our animals go through it. So he was very loved. He is a memorable spider. He was my first cobalt blue tarantula, so he does have that name. He does have that recognition in my household. But it sucks, and it's something that all of us have to get through at one point or another when we do have a pet. It's hard, but we have to accept the loss. I find that a lot of times it is important, or it is really cool, to save a part of your pet, whether it's a dog or a cat or a rat or a fish. So I'm gonna kind of go through some options that you do have to preserve your animals in a way, and then I'm going to talk about how I'm going to preserve my cobalt blue. His name was Hades, by the way, so I'm going to talk about a way to preserve Hades, or how I'm going to preserve him. And then at the end of this video, we'll kind of talk about better ways to cope with loss, if that makes sense. I know there's not a lot of ways to cope with it, but there are things that will for sure make it easier. So let's go ahead and we'll get started. So I kind of got into preserving parts of my pets when my first rat died. My first rat's name was Freddy, and I lost him about 3.5 years ago, per se. I think it was about 3.5 years ago. And he meant absolutely everything to me. So when he passed away, I took an ink pad and some ink on a little piece of paper, and I took his footprints and I stamped them in the ink, and I kept both front paw prints and back paw prints, and I put a little heart in the middle of them, and then I laminated it. So that's something that I have to this day that I was able to save of him. And then I was able to take a vial and I cut some of his whiskers off and some of his fur, and I put them in the vial, and my mom actually helped me add a little angel wing to the vial. So I had a little piece of him with me, and I wear it in a necklace sometimes. So that's one thing you can consider doing if you do have a smaller pet like a rat or a mouse. I know you could, stamping probably sounds not as creepy as keeping some of their fur, but it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. So that's something you can consider. I know if you have like a cat or a dog, going to the vet and having them cremated or asking for a clay paw print back is often something that a lot of veterinarian offices do offer. So that would be a really, really great way to honor your pet, is to have a clay paw print or a stamped paw print, and you can put it up or hang it up on your wall just so you can remember them that way. You can even ask your vet's office, if you do want to keep a piece of your cat's fur or your dog's fur, if they could cut you off a piece so you could put it in a necklace and wear it, or little things like that you can definitely do. I know with snakes and reptiles, it's actually other reptiles or spiders or fish, it's easier to preserve them. I don't know if you guys know about taxidermy or wet specimens, but sorry, my phone, something popped up on my phone, but that is something that you could do to preserve your animals as well. I do collect a lot of wet specimens and bones, and they're actually all up in this cabinet right here, but that's something you could do for fish or snakes. There are a lot of pages on Instagram or companies that you can reach out to and ask them how to preserve your animals at home, or actually ship them your animals and they will preserve them for you. I actually had a mouse that passed away, and I shipped the mouse to a really awesome company. I can actually link her down below, and she preserved a piece of her heart for me. So if you're into wet preservation or wet specimens, that's something you could do for your smaller animals as well. That's what I think I'm gonna end up doing with Hades. Is I'm gonna go ahead and take him out and kind of put him in a vial, and then I will probably go ahead and fill it with alcohol or something to go ahead and preserve him for a long time, and I'll keep him on my shelf. That's what I do with a lot of my tarantulas and a lot of the insects that I do have that pass away, is what it's easy to preserve them that way. So if you have a fish that passes or a snake that passes, you can either do it yourself and reach out to one of those companies, or send your beloved pet to one of those companies and they'll be more than happy to do it for you. It is a little pricey, but it's definitely worth it if you're thinking about preserving your animal that way. I know with dogs and cats and guinea pigs and stuff, it's a little bit harder, but I definitely think doing the feet stamps or the ink paw prints, or cutting a little bit of their fur off and putting it in a shadow box, I think that that's something awesome you can also do to pay homage to those bigger furrier animals as well. So those are just some really awesome options that you do have if you want to preserve an animal. I know with a lizard, you could also send them off to one of those companies, or look up at home how to preserve your lizard. And like I said, fish are easy too. You could take the fish's body and put it in a wet specimen bottle and keep the fish that way. I know a lot of people do it, but I hate to flush my animals. It sucks, you know what I mean? They're a part of my family, and so if I can preserve them and I have the shelf space to preserve them, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do it. So like I said, I will link, her name is Sam. I will link her company down below in the bio, just so it will gain her some revenue on her page. But she was actually nice enough to save some parts of my mouse Lucifer for me as well, and I did pay a fee for it, and I did package the mouse up, and that may be hard for some people, but it's a really awesome opportunity if you do have a smaller pet that you can't take to the vet necessarily to cremate. A lot of these companies on Instagram, or these small business owners on Instagram, will actually do preservation for your pets for you, whether it's bone articulation or wet preservation, or there are a lot of little things. So I will link her Instagram down below so you can go check her out, and then you can look on Instagram for other small businesses that are quite like her if you don't want to use her services. But I think it's definitely worth checking out if you have lost a rat, a mouse, a snake, a reptile, a fish, anything that's not of the norm that you do want to preserve. Reach out to her, and even if you have to ask her questions about how to preserve it yourself because you don't have the funds to send it, do that, and she would be more than welcome to help you with that. She's really awesome, and I do think more people should utilize those small businesses like that, just because they do really help with the sucky loss aspect of losing our pets, unfortunately. So here you go. I'm sorry, Bubba. I feel so bad. So this is my baby. He is in a position called the death curl, unfortunately, and his abdomen has shriveled up, which are both telltale signs that your tarantula has unfortunately passed away. Like I said, we are going to put him in this container once it dries out, and in the meantime, I'm going to wrap him up in this paper towel, and I'm gonna run to the store and get some more isopropyl alcohol just so I can preserve him forever and ever. So I'm just gonna kind of wrap him up right now and keep him safe while I go to the store. So I lied. I actually think I want to taxidermy him and kind of preserve him in a shadow box. So I'm gonna end up actually going to Michael's, and we're gonna get the stuff and pin him on some styrofoam, and then see if we can stuff his abdomen with some cotton. I've seen that done on YouTube before, and I think that that would be a cooler idea. So I will take you with me for that, and we'll do it when I get home together. So I think there's this one, but I think I'm gonna go with the bigger one for his size. Yeah, these seem okay, so I'll grab one of these for him. So I ended up getting this that I'm gonna pin him on on and I got some pins to pin him. I just went to Michael's. And then I found this set of 3-piece frames, but this bigger one seems to be a little bit more hollow, so I can put him in there and it'll act as like a shadow box once I'm done pinning and stuffing him. And then I have small knives and already some cotton at home that I can go ahead and just slit his abdomen open with and shove some cotton in there, because you have to do that for parts of taxidermy anyways. So I have that stuff at home, but that's what I got, and now we will go home. So I'm back from Michael's, and as you know, I got the foam piece. I have a knife because I'm going to have to cut him open to stuff him. I already had some stuffing on hand, so I didn't buy any extras. I got some T-pins just so we could pose him on the foam. And then I found a 3-piece frame for about $12, and I figured this middle one or this bigger one will house him fine once he's finished. You're not going to see the finished product today just because he has to sit on that styrofoam and be cleansed out just for a little bit, but I will upload finished pictures when he does happen to be done, but it probably won't be in this video. I'm just going to show you the process, so let's go ahead and get started. So this is my first time trying to, sorry, I hit the camera. This is my first time trying to like taxidermy anything. Oh, there's a cat hair. So be nice with your comments, please, because you know I'm not a professional. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, but I'm just going based off of videos and research that I have seen. So that's what we're doing today. So here's my foam block. I'm just trying to make this so you guys can see it. I'm gonna pick him up and put him. Here he is, my poor baby. Very pretty. Okay, so I'm not putting him, he's right here by the way, I'm not putting him in these picture frames anytime soon, as when you are doing taxidermy, you need to let them sit for a little bit in a substance that's going to drain out all of their moisture. But I am just going to open these with you on camera just so we can see which one is going to kind of be the best fit for him. I feel like this one might be, I don't know if he's going to be too wide or too big for it, or this one might be, actually I think I'm going to use this one just because it's actually going to give him a lot of space. I can spread him out really nicely, so I'm actually going to go with this frame here. Sorry the camera's shaky, my tripod is kind of sitting up but nothing else is supporting the tripod, and I keep hitting it with the frame. So I actually think, yeah, I think I'm going to go with this bigger one. That's going to give me more space to go ahead and spread him out. So I will get this ready in the meantime, but I do have to let him sit for a little while. Okay, everybody. So it's probably a few hours later from when I filmed the intro. I have him on a styrofoam piece and I've pinned him everywhere, and then I've cut open his abdomen, filled it with cotton, and now I'm going to sit here and let him dry out. Insects dry out way easier obviously than mammals and other things you're trying to taxidermy. I'm not sure of the correct terms because I don't do this often and this is my first time doing this, but this is what I read online and from a bunch of other tarantula hobbyists and tarantula groups. they said to mount them on the styrofoam board and let them dry out for some time. So that is what I'm doing. And then after I do that, he is going to go in this box. There's a backing to it, but this will act as his shadow box once he's done. And I'm gonna fill the background with the black felt background. So that is what I'm going to be doing to preserve. So I know at the end of this video, I said I would talk about ways to deal with pet grief and grieving pets, and I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely hard. I've owned animals my whole entire life. Since I was little, I remember having reptiles and lizards and animals and cats and dogs and etc. And it's obviously hard when a pet passes away. I mean, they're part of your family, but it's something that you have to think about and accept, as hard as it is to swallow it. And like I said, memorialize your pet in some sort of way, whether it is taking the whiskers or some of the fur, or preserving your pet in a shadow box, or taking your pet's ashes and whatever. And then whenever you have a preserved specimen or preserved part of your pet, you can put that in your home and keep it around you and look at it whenever you miss your pet. I definitely would not be one of those people that rushes right away to replace a pet just because, you know, you do need time to grieve. There really is no right way to grieve. You're going to go through a lot of stages of the grieving process, as you do when you lose an actual person, but just take the time and imagine your pet, you know, draw your pet, look at favorite pictures of your pet, post something on social media of your pet, do little things that make you happy, that make you feel warm and fuzzy, and that remind you of your beloved pet. If you have a collar, keep the collar, hang it up over your bed, hang it in your room. If you have one of their favorite toys, keep their favorite toys. If you have pictures, print out the pictures, make a shadow box. There are multiple ways to memorialize your pet, but remember them to help with the grieving process. Like I said, there's not exactly one correct way to grieve, because everybody grieves in different ways, whether it is crying or screaming or being angry, and those are all obviously okay ways to act, but do things that your pet knows, or that you know your pet would want you to do. And look at memories of your pet. Like I said, go over pictures, videos, post on social media, hang up pictures in your room, keep a collar, keep a whisker, keep a piece of fur, whatever you have. You know, make jewelry of whatever you have of your pet, or put them in a shadow box, or make a little oddity shelf if you collect tarantulas and snakes, and get them filled, or get them articulated, you know what I mean? There are a lot of things to do to keep your pet with you and to help with the grieving process. So those are just some tips that I'm gonna put out there today, just to kind of keep you going and let you know that it's okay when a pet passes away. It's something that happens, and as much as it sucks, no, you're not alone. I just went through it today with my poor little man right here, and even though a lot of you may not think a spider is a pet, to me he is. I love him very much. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this video. I know it was not that fun. I know it was not that entertaining. But it's the content that I have to offer right now. And my family members, all my animals, all my zoo, you know, I put them all online, so they're as much family to you guys as they are to me. So when something happens to one of them, I want you guys to know. So yeah, he passed away today. I'm gonna let him dry out for a few days, and then if you follow me on Instagram, don't forget to do that. I will post updated progress of me moving him into his shadow box and actually finishing the taxidermy process. But that's all I have for today. I'm sorry if you've lost a pet recently. If you have, don't forget to comment below and let me know who you lost, or reach out to me on Instagram and let me know who you lost. You know, talking is a great way to grieve through, you know what I mean? It's a great way to help with the grief process. So talk to those around you, talk about awesome memories, or talk about how upset makes you feel, or even go to therapy for it. You know what I mean? There are a lot of really awesome ways to let go of that steam, or to let go of the sad feelings that you have. So if you've lost a pet recently, comment their name down below. Let's start a thread. Comment their name and memorialize them in that way. Let me know what is the name of any of the pets that you've lost, or reach out to me on Instagram. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I am trying to grow my channel. I know it's going slow, but I am trying to get there, and I will promise I will have more fun content in the future to put out for you guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Maddie's Morphs. I did change my name. I feel like it's more fitting for what I'm actually doing now. And yeah, that's it. Like I said, I'm sorry this video wasn't so fun, but I hope to have a more fun one in the future for you guys. Bye.